Storm Tracker weather forecast with meteorologist Mike Hurd.
Here's some of the snowfall numbers coming in across southwestern Montana. Higher elevations like around Pony, up to 2 feet of snow. Pipestone Pass over towards Whitehall picked up a good foot plus. Gallatin Gateway around 7 inches, close to that in Dillon as well. Butte and Bozeman around 6 inches, and down in Livingston they picked up around 5. So that's about what we had estimated, was right around 4 to 8 and 3 to 6, somewhere in that range for valley snow accumulations, and possibly up to 1 to 2 feet in the mountains. And the snowstorm is still going on right now, but it is weakening at this point, and it is beginning to drift into Wyoming and out towards North and South Dakota. But there's a low sitting back here, and that's one of the primary reasons there's still some banding occurring along that state line. And Monida Pass is suffering with areas of snow and blowing snow. And still, at the time we started the newscast, Montana Department of Transportation said that I-15 is closed roughly south of Clark Canyon through Monida Pass into eastern Idaho. So winter storm warnings continue for southwest Montana up until midnight east of the Continental Divide. But for the Billings, Miles City areas, they're up through noon and even up until 6 p.m. tomorrow. So the storm is slowly working its way towards the south and east. Bigger travel impacts will follow you if you're heading east, but if you're heading west, things will be clearing out later tonight. But there's still a few little snow bands trickling through up until about midnight. But after that, the entire west-southwest corner should be clearing out. So the next 24, 48 hours, storm-free. But under clear skies, a lot of snow on the ground and a lot of cold air lingering. Again, we're projecting potential record low temperatures settling in across the area. Light snow still in Butte with the northwest wind about 9 miles per hour and an air temperature of 20 degrees. That puts the feels-like numbers down there in the single digits. So it's chilly if you have to stay outside for any prolonged period of time, well below average on the high and low, and very little difference between our high and low today in Butte. Visibility down to about 3 miles. As you move to Bozeman, MSU sitting at 21 degrees, so some light snow around. 38 was the high. That was around midnight tonight, but we've been holding right around 20 degrees pretty much all day long, and a little over 3/10 of an inch of water content and about 5 to 6 inches of snow. 18 right now in West Yellowstone, 20 in Butte, so the temperatures are very, very cold, and that's pretty much blanketing much of Montana. There are a few low 30s up along the High Line and out in northwestern Montana, but here's the shocker. I mean, 24 hours ago, we were a good 30 to 50 degrees warmer than it is right now, so that's quite a harsh temperature drop over the last 24 hours. And this is going to be a little difficult too. We got temperatures trying to get down around 0, maybe even a little bit below for some. Under clear skies, watch for some patchy fog first thing in the morning. Winds around 5 to 15 miles per hour, but again, that will keep those wind chill values slightly below 0 first thing in the morning. 20s and 30s in there tomorrow. Abundant sunshine is expected, but the wind's still fairly light, and there could be a little bit of fog, and temperatures are slowly trying to warm up. But tonight, it's going to be a cold one for much of the region. Overnight lows in the single digits, plus and minus. Watch for some patchy fog and a little bit of wind and biting wind chills, and 20s, maybe a lower 30 for tomorrow afternoon. So let's take a look at a warming trend, and it does show up, but possibly not until next week. By the weekend, we could be back up into the mid-40s, and lows should come up into the 20s, and that's just warm enough, I think, to melt a lot of the snow that we have on the ground off. But next week, we should bounce back up into the low to mid 50s. So a little bit of a break is coming, but it won't be for another week. Butte, your extended forecast the next 48 hours, very cold at night, slowly warming up this weekend. We could be back up into the 50s again into Tuesday and Wednesday. Dillon looks storm free, but it's a gradual step up in temperatures day by day. But those overnight lows will be around the single digits for at least 2 more evenings. West Yellowstone down to 0, maybe a little below for the next 2 nights. But again, it's a slow process, but we'll start to moderate those numbers next week.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Mike. All right. Nick Petriccioni's in with our sports, and hopefully our athlete of the week wasn't wandering around in the snow.
Well, luckily they play inside for her sport, and she just broke a record that stood for 13 years. The story's coming up next.